criticism, destruction is so easy.
Right.
It's so easy to say, oh, this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like hard to be a part of something. It's hard to affect real change. It's hard to create. And that's like what you do as a citizen. That's what your vote is for.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up? This is a quick video just to encourage you to vote, and I have voted, and so I'm not here to tell you what to vote for. I want to tell you why you should be voting. This is my friend Gabby. She's a law student and is incredibly smart, so I thought we would have a little conversation just to talk about maybe some things that help motivate people, especially in like our generation, like why we should be voting. Does your vote count at all?
Yeah, definitely. Your vote absolutely counts. The last midterm elections in 2014, an estimated 36% of eligible voters turned out to vote, which means that 36% of people, just over a third of the population of the United States, determined the course of the country for the rest of us. If you are okay with that, then stay at home. But for me, I want to have a voice in representation in government, and in every vote, especially people who are more in the center, more centrists or more moderates, they have a lot of power if we will turn out, if we'll represent ourselves as a voting bloc that matters. Politicians will pay attention. When we stay at home, they don't have to do what we say, or they don't have to care what we think.
I really want to be the one that's saying, like, this is my view, and just let it be heard, even if maybe I'm the minority, or if I am part of the majority should be represented. Why should we be voting for the smaller elections, like the midterm elections, things that are more like local? It's not so big and prominent, I guess, as the presidential elections.
I think there are a couple of reasons. One is that midterm elections are our politicians' report card. It reflects how we feel about how they're doing. For senatorial elections, certain senators don't have to worry about it. They're voted in every 6 years, so they have 2 election cycles after they're voted in to really see what we think and how we feel about the job that they're doing. Also, it reflects our opinions and our tastes as far as what we're going to want in a presidential candidate. So, the politicians who are jockeying for position are the ones who are trying to get a certain party elected, are jockeying for our votes, are looking at what it is that we care about, and this midterm election is a great way to let them know this is what we think. Just saying local elections makes it sound dismissive, but a lot of government actually happens on a local level. There's very, very little that the Constitution allocates to the federal government as far as powers go. Even now, the federal government is pretty limited. A lot of what happens to us, a lot of government decisions that affect us happen on a local level. And even federal decisions that you may not agree with can be blockaded or can be implemented differently on a local level, depending on who your local representatives are and who your local government is. And so if you care at all about the future of the world, about what happens to you on a daily basis, about how you conduct your business, about what happens when your kids go to school, about what happens when you're driving down the street and you get in an accident, who is at fault, or if there are potholes in that street that you're driving down, if you care about any of that, then local elections, midterm elections are incredibly important.
I guess I never thought of it as being like you were saying, a precursor to the presidential elections. It's almost like gearing up for that, because we're saying, like, these are the things that matter to us. This is what I'm interested in seeing based on the people that I'm electing at this stage, is the kind of stuff that I want to see overseeing, the entire country. Or where can you go to find, like, real facts about this stuff, just because,
Oh, that's really tricky.
Right.
when you're reading something with a bias, generally you'll know it. I feel like there's this huge temptation to buy in, and I'm no exception. I think we all do this, but there's this huge temptation to believe what you already agree with. So if it sounds like what I already think, then it's probably true. Is kind of the theory behind that. Another thing that I would look out for is large news entities. So the big names like Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and you could be arguing, oh well, they're on two different sides of the political spectrum. The fact that you even know what side of the political spectrum they're on is a problem. Larger corporations are incentivized to do really quick, fast stories, to do breaking news stories, to be the first on the scene. I personally really like more publicly funded news sources because they have time, because they're not incentivized to be first on the scene. They have time to do more in-depth, thorough research. There are other good sources out there. You just have to make sure that you're reading it and picking out, with an eye toward bias and with an eye toward, well, is this phrasing, like the way they phrased it, sounds really favorable to one side or the other. Is that just a phrasing, or is this the fact? Kind of just pick it out, pick multiple sources for any one thing. Yeah.
What else motivates you, or like why is this so important? I mean, the main motivator for me to go vote is because I absolutely love this country. I feel like if I have a right, then I should be taking advantage of it. Who knows if that right ever gets challenged or threatened in some way, and I would feel bad if it's like I didn't even use it when I had it, and I feel indebted to the people that have sacrificed lives, time, money, like everything to, just for me to live in such a free and supportive country. And I so that's kind of what's motivating me, is like I want to do anything that I can to contribute. And maybe I can't do things like military service. Maybe I can't do a lot of things that are more obvious, but I can exercise the individual rights that I have as a citizen of the U.S. To show my gratitude for that.
That's a huge motivator for me, honestly, and the fact that the Revolutionary War, that's the obvious one, the civil rights movement, the women's suffrage movement. Right now there's even some questionable stuff going on in certain states about the rights to vote of certain citizens are still being attacked, and it's because people in power know that the people are powerful. And our votes matter, our opinions count, especially in the type of government that we've been blessed to be a part of, to be born into, where it is democratic. We can rely on regular democratic elections, and the powerful are aware of that. They know that our votes matter. Also, for me personally, people I love, I know are affected by certain laws. If it's immigration, if it's people who I love who are in the military, people who I know who have who need Medicaid, or who are going to school, like all these people that I love are affected by the decisions that our politicians make. And if I don't exercise my right to decide who those politicians are, then I'm exposing my loved ones to hazards without doing anything about it. And then another one for me is my future children. And I don't have any kids, but I always think about what I'm going to tell them later, what I did to make the world a better place, what I did to improve the future. When they're reading the history books and they look back and say, I can't believe our country did this. Mom, what did you do? And then what will I have to say in that moment, right? So that's a huge motivator to vote for me.
Go vote. Go vote. Yes. For the challenge, this video is, if you're watching this in time, go vote. And if you miss it, then make sure you're voting next time, and you'll have a little bit more time to do the research that we encourage you to do. We'll see you in the next video. See ya.
Cool.
Cool. Hey, thanks.